I can compare and analyze two data sets represented in box plots. The box plots below show how many minutes students at a local elementary and a local middle school spend listening to music. Minutes listening to music is the title. The first box plot is for elementary students. The second is for middle students. It seems like this is all going by 5, so the scale is consistent, number of students. So the question is, which box plot shows a greater spread of data? The spread of the data is known as the range. And the range is the upper extreme and then subtract the lower extreme. So let's try to come over here and do that in our calculator. The upper extreme for elementary is at 60, and we will subtract the lower extreme, which is at 30. So that's a range of 30. Now let's check the middle school. The upper extreme is 59, and the lower extreme is 20. So that means the box plot with the greater spread of data is the middle school because its range is larger. So I'm going to go ahead and put an MS here. The middle school has the greater spread of data, and we use the range to figure that out. Now it says, which value is the same for both box plots? Well, let's start here. Upper extremes are definitely different. Lower extremes are definitely different. Look at this. Both of their medians are 45. So their median is the same for both. But let's also check the lower quartile and upper quartile. Okay, so median is the same. The upper quartile here is above the upper quartile there, so they're not the same. And the lower quartile here is lower than this one. So the only part that's the same is the median. Now it says which box plot has a greater interquartile range. Well, the interquartile range, I'm going to type it in Desmos, equals the top of the box minus the bottom of the box. So let's look at the top of the box for elementary. That's at 55. So I'll start with that. Minus the bottom of the box is at, let me see if I can figure that out, 35, 36, 37, 38, I think. That would be my guess. So I'm going to put a 38 there. And that means its interquartile range is 17. Now let's try it for the middle school. The top of my box is at 52. And the bottom of my box is at 30. So the interquartile range for the middle school is 22. So it is greater. It says which one has the greater interquartile range? The middle school has that again. All right, let's go to the next one. Mr. Jones and Mrs. Collins created box plots so to summarize their students' scores. Mrs. Jones' scores are here. Mr. Jones, Mrs. Collins's are here. The looks like this is good. It's all going up by 5s. No inconsistencies. We need to select 2 true statements. So let's see. It says the interquartile range for both is 15. Well, we're going to have to figure that out. Top of the box minus bottom of the box. Top of the box here looks like 85. And bottom of the box there looks like 70. So the interquartile range for Mr. Jones is 15. Now for Miss Collins, the top of the box looks like 80. And the bottom of the box looks like 65. Yes, they are both 15. So, true statement, we're going to put a check in that box. Now, let's check some other things and see how they work out. It says the range for Mr. Jones is the same as the range for Mrs. Collins. Well, the range would be upper quartile minus a lower quartile. So they both start at 100. So let's go ahead and put both the upper extremes in there. Now we're going to have to subtract the lower extremes. So the lower extremes for Mr. Jones was a 55. That's not very good. And the lower extreme for Mrs. Collins is a 60. So it says the range for Mr. Jones is the same as the range for Mrs. Collins. That is not true. Mr. Jones's range is 45, Miss Collins's is 40. So let's go on to the next question. It says 75% of both classes scored an 85 or higher. Well, 85 is right here and right there. Only 25% of Mr. Jones's class scored more than 85, and not even 25% of Mrs. Collins scored above an 85. So 75% of both classes scored above an 85. That is not true. Let's look at the last one. The lower quartile for Mr. Jones's class is equal to the median of Mrs. Collins. Well, the lower quartile for Mr. Jones is there, and the median for Mrs. Collins is here. So, yes, that is true. They are equal. All right, that's the end of that one.